Okay, so you drive past one every day. There are over 145,000 of them in the United States, sitting on the best corner, in almost every town. They're open when nothing else is. They sell something every driver needs. On a schedule they can't put off. It sounds like a machine that prints money. Not even close. Most gas stations lose money on the thing they're named after. Some days they lose money on every single gallon that leaves the pump, and the owner still has to unlock the doors, pay the staff, and keep the lights on regardless. By the end of this, you'll understand where the real money actually comes from, and what's buried under the concrete that could end the business overnight. Let's start with the number. Nobody tells you. The average gas station makes somewhere between 2 and 6 cents of profit per gram gallon. 2 to 6 cents. Fill up a 15-gallon tank, hand over $60, and the station owner walks away with less than $1. The other 59 went somewhere else, to the refinery, to the distributor, to state and federal fuel taxes, to the credit card processor, taking their cut before the owner sees a cent. You are not buying gas from the gas station. You are renting the real estate for 90 seconds, while money passes through it on its way to someone else. Here's the part that makes it worse. The owner doesn't control that price, and crude oil can swing 15% in a week. The station has to react in real time, repricing the sign out front sometimes twice a day, while their actual margin, the sliver they keep, barely moves at all. Whether gas is $2.80 a gallon or $4.50, they keep a few cents either way. The number on the sign is chaos. The number in their pocket is almost a flat line. So why does anyone do this? Because the fuel was never the business. The fuel is the bait. Everything about a gas station, the giant illuminated sign visible from the highway, the canopy, the price war with the station across the street, exists for one purpose: to get your car to stop moving for 4 minutes. What happens in those 4 minutes is where the actual company gets built. Walk inside. A bottle of water that cost the store 20 cents sells for $2. A cup of coffee that costs 30 cents in ingredients sells for $3. A candy bar bought in bulk for 40 cents sells for $2.50. These aren't 2% margins. These are margins of 50, 60, sometimes 70%. You just handed over more profit on a bag of chips than the owner made on your entire tank of gas. This is the part most drivers never think about. The pumps are a customer acquisition cost, a very expensive one, and the convenience store is where that cost gets paid back. Stations that understand this stop thinking of themselves as fuel retailers. They start thinking of themselves as small, high-traffic grocery stores that happen to have pumps attached. The ones that do this well build out real kitchens, fresh coffee programs, loyalty apps that track your visits, car washes, bolted onto the side, lot generating their own separate stream of near-pure profit. Some of the largest chains in the country now make more money from a made-to-order sandwich than from the fuel that got you there in the first place. Walk inside. That's the whole business model compressed into 3 words. Now, here's what nobody puts on the sign. Underneath almost every gas station sits a set of massive steel or fiberglass tanks, buried in the ground, holding tens of thousands of gallons of fuel. These tanks are not permanent. They have a working life, and after 20-25 years they start to fail. Metal corrodes, seams weaken. When they finally go, they don't send a warning, no siren, no smell you'd notice from the sidewalk. The fuel just starts seeping downward, into the soil, toward the groundwater, underneath the same groundwater that, in a lot of towns, still feeds someone's well. Cleaning up a leaking tank isn't a $5,000 problem. It routinely runs into 6 figures. In serious cases, where it's reached groundwater and regulators get involved, it can climb past $1 million for one site. Under federal law, it doesn't matter who put the tank in the ground, or who owned it when it started leaking years ago. The liability follows whoever holds the deed the day it's discovered, not the previous owner, not the fuel supplier. That's why nobody serious buys a gas station without paying for soil testing first. It's not a formality. It's the difference between buying a business and inheriting a lawsuit you don't know exists yet. There is a third problem, and this one doesn't show up in a single afternoon. It shows up over the next decade. Electric vehicles don't need what a gas station sells. Every EV sold today is a customer that pump traffic will never see again. Not once. Not for the 15 or 20 years they own that car. Industry analysts are already projecting that a meaningful share of today's fuel stations will be unprofitable within the next 10 years. simply because the number of cars that need what they're selling keeps shrinking. Smart operators are already reacting. A few are installing EV chargers next to the pumps. That's not sentiment. That's defense. An EV driver isn't in and out in 4 minutes. They're parked for 20-30 minutes while their car charges, and every one of those minutes is another chance to walk them into the store. Early data suggests EV drivers actually spend more inside than gas customers do, simply because they're stuck there longer. But retrofitting a site for high-speed charging isn't cheap, and it's another round of capital on top of a business that was already expensive to build in the first place. A handful of owners will make that bet early and win. Others will wait too long and find themselves holding a piece of real estate built entirely around a fuel type fewer people need every year. The number of gas stations in this country has been shrinking for 3 decades straight, and it's not slowing down. The ones that survive won't be the ones with the cheapest gas. They'll be the ones that figured out gas was never really the point. So here's where that leaves things. The pump gets you off the highway. The store is where the business actually lives or dies. The tanks underground are a liability with your name on it the moment you sign the deed. And the fuel itself, the thing painted 40 feet tall on the sign out front, is slowly becoming optional. The gas station isn't disappearing, it's just quietly becoming something else. The question is whether the owner sees that in time. You decide.